I think we can hear ourselves on the stream. So, yep, that is silly me. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to TF Live, your premier destination for all things Oz Fortress. I am Yauch. Joining me tonight is George J, or Creditor, or whatever you want to say. How's it going, man?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited. This is my first cast for TF Live in a while, so it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back, but we won't talk about the dark times of the past because we got a cool match coming up. So, what are your thoughts on this match? You want to introduce us to the teams quickly?
Yeah, sure. So, it is xenophobiaphobia versus Damage Incorporated. Just an interesting stat. Xenophobiaphobia lost their first match to 2-19 of the Pencil Jumpers, but it was very close. I think it might have been one round or two off both maps.
It was one round in both, I think you'll find, that I was playing in that match, and I remember getting shield killed by Bulk. That was the highlight of my Prem debut, honestly. But yeah, it was a very close game, so against the current iteration of the rack roster, so they've come off good, whilst Damage Inc., on the other hand, came off a bit of a trial by fire in Prem, as it were, against the Hardys, probably the top-seeded team, and frankly, they got spanked. They got 5-0, 5-0 very quickly, so yes. We're going to see if they can bounce back with a roster change, mind you.
So, for the side of Damage Incorporated, on the Scouts, we have Zoe K and Miko Lash. In the Roma, we have Fane, Pocket, Pingu, Demo is Crud, and the mid is Half Wrong.
Yep, and just talking about that one quickly before we go into xenophobiaphobia, that has come about very recently. For those of you who have been following Oz Fortress for a little while, caught our cast of the Intermediate Grand Final, you'll see there's a few changes up on there. Michael Ash in for Dreams, and then they've done a bit of musical chairs with their roles. We've got Pingu on Pocket now, previously a Scout, Zoek moving to Scout from Roma, and Fane moving from Roma to Pocket. So it's all happening. I don't know exactly how they're playing with the new roster. They seem happier in terms of their mindset. I haven't seen any results though, so we'll have to see how it transfers, how they do on their new classes. Whilst on the other hand, we have the experience on Xenophobia. You want to run us through them quickly?
Yeah, just continuing from that last one, I think the theme kind of follows over, because on Xenophobiaphobia we have Paulson and MG on Scouts. Paulson, of course, being Premier Demo.
Who's Paulson?
The top demo last season, and now playing Scout. That's a pretty massive change. But anyway, Paulson and MG are on the Scout. Roma is Paws, the Pocket is Mac, Demo is Muppet, and the mid is clearly better than Yauch, and that is Grants.
You're not wrong, man. Yeah, so as you were saying, Paulson, previously known for, even before he played Demo, he was a very well-renowned soldier in Prem, now on Scout, and I've been scrimming and playing a little bit with these guys, and he's transferred really well. He's taken it in his stride. He's putting up big damage numbers, playing his typical aggressive style, so that is not something that you should be worried about, really. He's managed to pull it across really well, even though they've got absolutely no transferable skill sets between the two classes, but he makes it work.
So coming into this one, now that they actually have their core mid instead of their sub mid, it was the amazing Yauch.
Hey.
Do you think that'll improve their chances a lot?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I've never played with Krabs, in all honesty, but I hear he is a very solid med. Going straight up from Open to Prem, if I'm not mistaken, last season with this team. So, yeah, a big jump up fight by all of these players. Half Wrong, again, has played one season Open, one season Inter, and now is in Prem as well. So we've got some fresh blood on medics, and they're doing well. So I reckon it'll probably just work well. As he was their medic last season, it'll help with their team continuity, just helping them play and calm down, because I think we were all a bit unfamiliar with each other last week, not to mention playing against some very interesting things. Very interesting things, which threw another spanner in the works. So I think this is a more comfortable roster for them, so we should see them settle down, and they should be quite comfortable today.
I think it's quite interesting seeing the mix and match of new and old blood on Xenophobiaphobia in the form of Paulson and MG. And then having players like Gramps. And even in the entire match, actually, with Half Wrong, as you said, Open to Inter to Prem. Only 3 seasons.
That's the story for Damage Inc. Again, for those of you who have been following, came 7th in Open in season whatever the first season of Open was. I've just had a blank. Played intermediate last season, came second, and now here they are, one of the teams promoted to Premiership this season. So they're gonna, really keen to improve these guys, which is exciting for TF2. As you've heard, we're in a bit of a lull in terms of TF2. North American TF2 has gone down the shitter, frankly, and it's just, we're glad to see fresh blood who are really dedicated to improving and playing, which these guys are. So that's why I would definitely not write them out, even with the Paulson factor, the MG factor on xenophobia.
It's so good to see new blood coming into Prem so often, as opposed to sticking with the same old stale top few players. I think it's really, really refreshing for the scene. I'm not sure if the same feeling is felt in NA, even if the teams are dying. But yeah.
I'm not qualified to comment on that a great deal. All I know is hearsay. So, do you want to give us a quick prediction, George, before we go live? Because we've got 11 in the server, so I imagine we will be going live shortly.
Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with Paulson. I think he is the best player in Australia, so definitely going to have to go to xenophobiaphobia. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, Gramps is one of my friends, so definitely going to have to put it to xenophobiaphobia because of that reason. Not because of Paulson, but because of Gramps.
Very fair call. Loyal till the end, George J. And, well, for my prediction, first map's going to be Process, by the way, then moving on to Reckoner. So for Process, this is a hard one for me because I've been following Damage Inc. through their meteoric rise through the divisions. So I've got a soft spot for these guys, but then again, I'm on the other roster, so I'm going to try and remove all emotion for it and no bias. And I'm going to say this one, with the new roster coming in on Damage Inc., I reckon they're going to be playing really aggressive. They're going to be playing some creative, free-flowing TF2, but eventually the experience of xenophobiaphobia will probably settle in and win it for them. So I'm going to give it to them, say 5-3 in the end. We'll go to the full 30 minutes.
Is that just the first map score?
Yes, because Reckoner is a thing, and I don't even want to do predictions on Reckoner, especially after my experience on that map last season. We had, as Red Hawk will probably remember in chat, we had an hour and 10-minute long official on that map, 1-1 after full time, and then a 40-minute golden cap. So we could be here for a while.
So fun, just like an excellent time. Let's hope it doesn't draw out that long here.
Definitely not. That'd be tedious for everyone involved.
Very, very tedious. So my map prediction, as you said, loyal to the end. Xenophobiaphobia are going to take this first one 5-0.
All right.
I don't even think they're going to get past mid. I think Xenophobia is just going to roll into last every time. They're going to win every mid, not even going to have to contest anything, straight into last every time.
Well, we've said about how exciting it is to have new blood in the Premiership division, and so for the sake of the new blood, the new kids on the block, I really hope that doesn't happen, as they came off what is frankly even a defeat that's even going to demoralise the most motivated players against the Hardys, the current top-seeded team last week. They got beaten down pretty badly. I'm remembering on this map, on Process, we saw 3 players on the Hardys. That was Enrith, Putty, and Elmo all go above 400 DPM, and that was a right stomping. So I'm hoping they can have a better showing this week, and I reckon they definitely can.
Sounds like they got comfortably spanked.
Where did that reference come from?
That's from I-58, my friend.
Yeah, I know, but what?
I don't know, I just felt like referencing another TF2 team. There's no other one that we can really mention as a part of that.
Fair call. Well,
I thought it was good enough.
We'll work some references in here tonight. I'm not going to say any dog jokes as much as Red Hawk might like me to, but we do have 12 in the server, so hopefully we're going to be going live very soon here. Any last things to say, George, before we get started?
Again, really, really hope Xenophobiaphobia wins, and I hope Gramps performs better than you did.
I reckon that's a guaranteed. He's not going to get shield killed. I know that. Crud's going to be running, so I think he's going to have a nice time. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Despite all their experience, and we saw this last season, albeit they didn't have Paulson on the roster last season on Xenophobia, they probably didn't quite have the season that they wanted to, considering the players that they have on their roster and how long they've been around. I think they finished either tied or below Roro's team on points for second last, so we're hoping to see an improvement this season. The other interesting narrative to work in just quickly before we go live is the way that Prem has ended up this season is we've got 3 teams which, based on the rosters, I think everyone can comfortably say they've secured the top 3 playoff spots. In what order is really not very important at this stage, but they've comfortably got the top 3 spots. But then we've got a really interesting and really tight 3-way race for 4th place for the last playoff spot between these 2 teams here and the winners of Intermediate last season, Intoxicated. So this match, even though it's early in the season, could have some bearing towards the standings later on in this season.
So just before we go live here, I do want to mention, you might notice the absolute revampment of everything TF Live, but most of all the overlay, the beautiful overlay we have going on right now. I should see it right in front of your faces. It is made by the beautiful 2 amazing helpers, Wiethoofd and Wiethoofd. Did a really, really good job on the overlays, and everything looks so nice, and I hope it really just leads to a higher quality production value.
They absolutely have done a great job. It looks really cool, and you know who else has done a great job? You did a great job saying both of those names, pronouncing them, because bloody hell, that is a mouthful. So
I took
credit
a guess.
to you.
I took a guess, and I think I got it.
I think it paid off, son. You done good. So we're going live very shortly here. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm hoping for a good game here. I'm hoping for not the stomp that you are anticipating. So let's give the people what they want to see. Let's give them some good, high-quality TF2.
It's exactly what we want all day, every day. So, countdown is beginning now, and we're going to be coming to the first round here. Xenophobiaphobia versus Damage Control. This is round 2 of Oz Fortress Season 17 here on CP Process. I will be following Sean all the way into mid here. He's already at choke. Just going to walk in. Already have a red soldier in, but that was so quick. Crud's in on the midpoint, quite aggressive, but he doesn't have the teammates to back him up. 2 scouts going up top now. There's no presence up top. But as I say that, Paulson jumps up on top, and enough pause going in for a deep. A lot of aggression. Paulson's forced a scout all the way back out of choke, but he's going after Gramps now, who's all alone. He's got no teammates with him. He needs to hit the shots and get him, and he does. That's a mid down for Xenophobiaphobia. Paulson is the only one left after that mid.
Really convincing first mid from Damage Incorporated. What happened there was Sean Muppet, the demo man for Zeno, died really, really early to Crud, who I think just managed to sneak up and get some early position on the point and took him out with sticks. And then we saw Grams get chased down in the latter half of that mid. We saw Paulson sort of caught in no man's land up on bats. He could have finished up a very weak half wrong on mid, or he could have protected his medic, and he was caught in 2 mines and ended up just retreating to last. So full Uberad here for half wrong as they are taking lobby now and looking to push into last.
This could be a very, very quick first round, going completely against my prediction. It's quite saddening, but the Uber is used here by Damage Incorporated. They've pushed in, they've already taken down the sentry, didn't get much done. Mac goes down as well. Gramps running across the point, gets taken down. You do have 3 players on the side of Xenophobiaphobia running around the point, but Damage Inc. so much presence on that point, just cap it too easily, just forcing everyone off.
Yeah, really clinical push there, just coming in through door 3. The pop was a little bit early, but it ended up being not a problem for them. They took out the sentry and just focused down frags and managed to close out a very quick first round. So your prediction's out of the water, as we see Sean very cautiously sticking up his own pack, as Fane was very quick last mid, but we don't see that again. Early aggression coming onto the side of Xenophobia, and we see nice upward direct, but Pause has come in on a very weak half wrong. Great dodging from half wrong, even a little bit lucky there to say the least, dodging that last rocket, but they have been forced out of this mid. Crud is being chased down, half wrong is totally alone getting out here on second, and the hunt is on. I cannot see him living here.
Gramps actually got taken down very low, as most of Xenophobia is actually trapped in that back corner. It could have been quite bad, but decided to get out.
Duked the hell out of the 2 players chasing him into lobby, but it ended up being all for naught as he dies very, very late. 16-second spawn as they've got the cap time going down on second. Zoic going for possibly a hero sniper play, but I can't see this. This is going to be a quick return round, George.
The sentry's back on, and the xenophobia Uber has come in. They're just pushing straight onto the point. They haven't focused the sentry enough though. It's just the scouts. It's them on the soldier. Need to take it down. They do. Take down another player on the point, and Halfron comes out of spawn. He gets there. It doesn't jump on the point, and xenophobia get the cap time that they need and take a round. 1-1.
Just really late death on Half Wrong, and really being a bit slack on setting up their defensive off classes. They're only having a level 1 sentry and a sniper really cost them that push. So we got very, very quick 1-1 as we see Fane rolling out fast again, lagging a little bit as we see Paws take the opposite pack. But Fane jumps in really aggressively, gets Sean down as Paws goes down as well. So that is a Roma trade with a demo pick. So this is mid's definitely favouring Damage Incorporated at the moment. As we see Paulson getting aggressive onto the combo. Halfrong again, very weak, but he's surviving these mids really well with the when he is getting aggressed on. Living on a sliver of health there. How much health was he on? I think that was 1 HP.
Definitely not much. That's nearly a full team wipe, I believe, on the side of xenophobiaphobia. So, of course, Damage Incorporated are going to be going all the way onto their second here. Probably going to be looking to push straight into last. This has been some very quick rounds, going either way, both teams. So, the full Uber is there. Gramps is going to be on about 20%, but the Uber disadvantage is just too large for him to really have much of an effect. So the push should be coming in very soon here. They do have that Uber, as I said, but Engie and Sniper are up for xenophobiaphobia. They're just getting a little bit aggressive. Crud goes down. The Uber wasn't there for him. The sentry takes him down. So that Uber actually gets wasted completely, uses it early, because Crud just sacrificed himself, and he may have panicked a little bit there. So that's a failed push from Damage Incorporated. Pause goes down, but it's not enough to reinitiate that push. This does Fane. So that should leave it a massive
picked
disadvantage.
Up by Paulson in lobby, yeah. Crud going in a little bit before his team there, so there's a bit of a breakdown in communications, getting dropped in the Uber. Then we see the power of the Rescue Ranger coming in, even trying to spam that sentry down, just can't do it without the demo. The Rescue Ranger too strong. As we see Gramps coming up on his Uber right about now, they're looking to push through Choke with a 30% advantage. Some early aggression getting onto them, and they are forced into Choke, whilst Damage Incorporated are nowhere to be seen. They could very possibly get out of here without losing a player, and I could not see them. They should, come in and recontest, but their positioning is not quite close enough. They are going to give up the cap, but they will be coming in with a big Uber advantage sometime soon.
So that's about a 70% Uber advantage going the way of Damage Incorporated, and they push in. Matt goes down, but Pause takes down Zoe K with him. So they're just walking onto mid with that Uber, and they've forced xenophobiaphobia all the way out through Choke. They've just got the scouts in the mid there. Present Pause is running around the sewer, but he decides to rejoin his team. So that's just a nice easy retake with that massive advantage that they had straight back into mid. And then Xenophobia getting forced all the way back onto second.
Yeah, very lucky. Those forward spawns nearly came in. They managed to get the demo on the mid push, which basically secured it for them. But we now see the flip-flop of Ubers, 40% advantage in the hands of Gramps. But we've got Fane, the Roma for Damage Inc. in door 1 all the way at last, drawing players back to him to try and buy some time for his team. He does go down, as we also see a Zoic sniper watching Choke. So that'll be interesting to see if he can get a shot, make it count, as they are coming in Choke. And Gramps drops.
Gramps, no!
To a body shot at Choke, as we see all the aggression coming out now from Xenophobia, trying to equalise that player and heal disadvantage with just raw aggression, but they are blobbing around their medic very effectively, Xenophobia. I say that, but Crud's a little bit isolated, and he's going to go down to Paulson, but I do believe that they are going to clean these frags up. Except Fane did die in that, and Pause
takes down
Pause does
Fane.
eventually die. My god, that was so scrappy. Both meds died in the end there.
And it wasn't very good. There was just another not another, but a failed mid push after it got taken from them. So that's just going to even the odds just a little bit. Both teams are just going to have to exchange some spam at Choke, get their Ubers back, try pushing again, see if they can retake it. Whether they take second or the other team takes mid, we'll have to wait and see. But Ubers are going to be pretty much exactly even, so it's going to be an interesting fight coming up.
Yeah, both meds, as you say, did die, and very even Ubers. No meds switching up to crits, which is something you could have done in that situation, but we're just seeing a bit of a stalemate here now. Cookie cutter classes, Zoic did die, Swati that is, so no sniper on the side of Damage Inc. But yeah, we're just going to see a bit of a mid to second stalemate here, I imagine, George.
It's very typical of Team Fortress 2. I'm sure we're all used to it. So, as I said before, they're just spamming some Choke. Actually, Damage Incorporated aren't very close to Choke right now. Maybe they're just trying to get some distance in case of a push. Now they have to see who's going to use their Uber first, because they both know that both teams have Uber. So it definitely changes the dynamic of the stalemate. As you can see, Damage Incorporated is pushed up a little bit more. Probably going to get ready to push, but they need to force that mid as early as possible. Gramps uses his Uber.
Choke, yep.
And Damage Incorporated used theirs in return. Let's see who comes out on top of this mid fight. Oh, Pingu is actually out of Uber. He's just pushed in a little bit too far, but he doesn't go down for it. Not much punishment coming out as a result of that. Gramps hanging all the way back on second, and it looks like xenophobiaphobia are actually going to come out quite a decent way on top of this fight.
We have got 2 players on the back cap though, but we've got both scouts back for Xenophobia, so I can't imagine if this goes down, they are going to
very much could. That was so close. The soldiers had to come all the way back and save it.
Yeah, that was interesting. They had both scouts there. I thought they would have fancied themselves to take that fight, but they were very sensitive to go aggressive on the players on the Spire. But we see there with that second push, the Ubers sort of... We saw Sean jump into mid during the Uber exchange and get taken down for it. Bit of a questionable decision by him there, but they gave themselves... but they gave Damage Inc. just enough rope to hang themselves from, and they got crushed in the choke. But we're seeing the re-aggression now from Damage Inc. as they're getting forced out. 2 kills, Demo and Pocket down on the side of Xenophobia, and recap of mid very quickly.
Gramps actually nearly got taken down at the mid. He managed to surf out choke on 30 health. So the Uber advantage was going the way of Damage Inc., but they now both have Uber. Xenophobiaphobia using their Uber. Half wrong just hasn't used his, actually doesn't have it. I didn't realise that. Xenophobia pushing all the way in. He needs to take down half wrong.
Oh, that just he gets punished for it.
So close. He milked it just a little bit too hard there. Relying on his teammates maybe a bit too much.
But they do manage to clean up the frags. Only Paulson left alive. I think there was a very nice rocket there from someone on the Damage Incorporated side to take down the remaining players on mid. Half wrong drops. It doesn't end up having a great deal of bearing on the game, I would say. So, yeah, not much gain for it on the side of Xenophobia as they do lose their second. And we need to see a Paulson spy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw a spy play in the last week, round 1, and another one of Xenophobia's matches actually. I think Paulson did play spy back then as well, so see if he actually gets anything done with it this time, because it wasn't too effective in the last. He got 1 chain stab on a mid and a soldier, but that was about it. So he has a good position here, because Damage Inc. got the mid, is actually decently alone. He's going to try to revolver him.
And he oh no, Paulson! That shouldn't be able to happen.
Turns into a revolver kill very easily. He goes down, but that mid pick is so good. Gramps has got his full Uber advantage down. They're going to be pushing out a second. He's used his Uber very early. He's got no teammates with him. They never actually got anything done with that. They got isolated so quickly.
4 players on that Uber push out, and we see Gramps med DM on Fane. Only 2 up and 1 spawner now. But that was a bit of a botched last push. They managed to just not keep any of their players alive with the Uber, and Gramps ended up having to tuck tail and run back to last. So, slight advantage to Gramps. They do actually have the position on second, as the spawners didn't come in for quite a while on the side of Damage Inc. So we're going to see them holding mid. Only a 10% advantage for Gramps. Let's see if they are feeling themselves and want to push off that.
I just want to shout out to Gramps for that awesome surf onto Fane at last. It could have gone very badly, but he surfed straight into him and just got the Uber sword. So good. That's going to make the Ubers even here for this mid to second stalemate here. So we're just going to see how the Uber dynamic plays out for this one.
But as we saw earlier in this match, and Zoe is on Sniper again, just scoping up hard onto Choke, so that'll probably be what Damage Inc. are looking to make their play off. Typically, it is as he does Dome Max, so that's something, and we're going to see them hopefully get aggressive here. And he body shots down the Demo Man as well, so this is heavily favouring Damage Inc. now, as they should try and take this without popping Uber, and they most likely will, with Xenophobia backing all the way up to last. So, and we see the Paulson spy again.
Exactly what Damage Incorporated needed from Zoe. They're taking down those 2 players, opening up second for them. Now the Ubers are even, and this push is probably going to come in from Damage Incorporated soon. However, Zoe goes down to MG. Perhaps trying to trade for that, a scout going into rollout, but he's not going to get anything done. Mac taking a lot of damage, but his medic's right there to save him. They're actually trying to contest second right now. Damage Incorporated not looking like they want to use that Uber at all, and neither xenophobiaphobia.
I was watching that from Paulson's POV. It was a very confused looking poor little spy just standing out on grass as his team pushed out. He had a great position. As Ubers are traded, sorry, cut me off with the Uber trade.
Jeez, okay, that was quite
not much happening at the moment. There's some slight flashing going on Gramps' side to keep his players alive, but Ubers are going to be basically the same. The Roamers smash faces and do the Roamer special, trading for each other. Paulson again, still on spy, not quite sure where he is. He's just chilling in the corner. Not going to have a great deal of impact, but Xenophobia are looking to peek choke a little bit, get a little bit aggressive, so see if anything will come of it.
It's just really just your typical even Uber v Uber fight, now that Ubers are even yet again, so hopefully be able to see another second mid push. Zoe though, taking down Mac, that's another soldier pick. Just needs... Oh, Paulson though!
Paulson's still on spy, he's being healed, and he does get taken down, he does get seen. He was on spy on their last hold and was just biding his time and ends up doing a great deal of nothing with it, so I'm surprised they're not pushing this a little bit more aggressively, as we do see them start to take second now with the 2-pick advantage that they have and the Zoic sniper. Zoic dumps Gramps, that's huge!
Zoe take a massive pick onto Gramps, that was awesome. That was such an important kill for them for this last push. Paulson's come up on sniper alert, see if he can offset it. Pauses on heavy, he's walking up that ramp, he's getting rushed by a scout, but his teammates are there to help him and he takes him down. The Damage Incorporated Uber is used and they take down the heavy straight away. Krug goes down to a headshot from Paulson. They haven't got the presence on the point that they need. All the players are in. They're walking on a point now, but the demo is there to deny it just a little bit. Oh, jeez, okay. That was just such a shutdown of that push. It looked like it was going well for Damage Incorporated after they finally got players on point, but Xenophobia just coordinated too well to actually let them take that. They just used their damage so effectively, focused their individual players, and managed to stop it. So that's a failed last push. Another failed push for this match in general. Actually, Zoe's back up on sniper, sitting in mid, watching that choke yet again, and see if she gets someone.
Yep, so clutch kills by the spawners there in that last push to save it for Xenophobia. Zoic been having good success with this sniping, so we're going to see him continue that, but it looks like they are wise to it on the side of Xenophobia as they are pushing it through IT with their Pocket and Medic right now. Pocket gets dropped, Med and Scout are on the blue pack right now, and they drop that Scout as well, trading for the Roma. Really massive fight here on mid. I'm not quite sure what this is doing. Very strange push from Xenophobia, not really going to do a great deal, and now 2 up with a max spawner, sort of feeding into Damage Incorporated there. That was a little bit odd.
There's only 3 players up for... Oh, just as I said, they do get respawns. Zoic looking to take the sniper through mid though. They have the Uber on the side of Damage Incorporated. Xenophobia aren't too far behind, it's about 10%, but looks like they're definitely going to be taking the second and walking up Spire right now. Fane goes down. Oh, Zoe getting another nice headshot onto MG. Pause goes for the bomb, isn't that effective. Crud's all the way up. Xenophobiaphobia use their Uber, as does Damage Incorporated. But it looks like Xenophobiaphobia is gonna run out last. Zoe going down as well. It's just the 4 players sitting at this choke, looking like they want to get out to avoid the 3 players that have pushed out from last from Xenophobiaphobia. Just sitting in sewer. Looks like a Mac is actually getting very aggressive into sewer. They're probably trying to catch the mid, but he gets out in time. Just the 5 players up now, sorry. Oh, Mac takes down Miko Lash though, just so close, rocket to rocket. Easy kill for him. Just got to get that spam right. It's just 4 players sitting at this choke now. Maybe coming into another stalemate right now. The Ubers are even yet again, as we've seen multiple times after failed pushes in this match. Matt going for a bomb, but he gets earshot and taken down so low. Paulson's come in through IT and he takes down the mid. That's an awesome pick from him. So significant in pushing this mid. Now Gramps, he's got the Uber and he's going to want to walk straight in. Fane goes down as well. So does the demo for Xenophobiaphobia, and they actually just clear up mid without really having to use that Uber all that much.
No, not really. They did drop some players in that push. The Uber, frankly, after getting those kills, was a bit of a softer pop. They didn't really need to pop there, and you can see they achieved very little with their Uber, dropping as many players as they got kills. So we're going to see even Ubers once again, as you keep saying, but Swati's still on that sniper, has been having some success, but they look like they're wisening up to it now, staying out of his sight lines and not giving him the opportunity to do a great deal. So we're going to see how Xenophobia look to break this mid-hold, as this is the first time they've been in control of mid in this situation, I think.
I'm surprised that Xenophobia haven't actually tried a sniper play of their own outside of last. They've only tried the spy, and granted it has worked in some situations, hasn't been nearly as effective as Zoic, I mean. So
I see 2 frags coming in now on the side of the flank classes for Damage Incorporated. Halfrong does go down though, so that's a huge pick, and we're just seeing Damage Incorporated getting cleaned up here. It's only Crud left alive, and he's in IT. He manages to kill NG, but it's going to be all for naught, I feel, as they are looking to take door 2 now and push with a full Uber advantage.
Just Miko Lash up on Heavy and another soldier to help him out. They haven't walked on the point, they've used the Uber. Just 3 players now, but Damage Incorporated have got the respawns. They might actually be able to hold this after all. Pingu's just jumping around trying to get some damage out while his teammates come up, and they didn't get on the point. It looks like this push might even fail now that the respawns are coming from Damage Incorporated. However, 2 players have to run back onto that point, and Pause goes and it's just easily taken by Xenophobiaphobia. Damage Incorporated they got the respawns, they just weren't coordinated enough with them to prevent that cap.
I'm seeing a trend in this match already of teams using their Ubers without all their players present, or whilst dropping a lot of players or having players down, and it's making for some really messy fights, and we saw it there. They just managed to play the post-fight heals better on Xenophobia. As we go into another mid, Fane takes the pack of Sean, but he is walking up the opposite side, and they have traded position here on this mid, but a lot of high ground control for Xenophobia.
Gramps is isolated in the back corner. He's got 2 players from Damage Inc. on him, and he gets taken down, as does the scout that ran over to support him. Wait, I am wrong. Never mind. Gramps does go down though.
Yeah, Gramps goes down, as does Halfrong, but Crud being the last one left alive, they're managing to combine and get more kills on the side of Xenophobia. They're going to be capping up mid, and we see them setting up some very forward traps and have 2 players hiding in the lobby who have been seen now, but getting really aggressive, trying to milk this mid win for as much as it's worth, get as much ground, even though the Ubers will be even at the end of it. And we see Michael Ash up on NG as a defensive off class, but it will be even for both of these teams now. Both meds died on mid.
Might even see a sniper from Swati. Yes, we do. So the NG and the sniper here for this last defense. Let's see if Swati can be as effective as he has been in the past. Just peeking out through door 1, but doesn't actually get a line of sight onto anyone significant. Just going to look through rollout while the spam's being exchanged. Ubers are about even, so again, it's going to be an Uber v Uber fight. Fane takes down Paulson though. It's a scout down for Xenophobiaphobia.
Paulson had been hiding in lobby for a very long time, just up on the boiler between doors 3 and 4. He'd been there for a little while. As we see, so we're going to see him. I imagine he'd try and do something a bit creative. No, he's just going to come up on scout. Nope, there he is. He's on sniper. As we see Swati trying to get some position, trying to go from the lower door in lobby, get a bit of a cheeky pick while Paulson's still coming back into the fight, but nothing comes of it. He gets down very low, but doesn't quite die. So we're going to see a sniper v sniper, Paulson versus Swati now. So see who comes out on top of that, as Paulson's starting to peek lobby from lower.
The Ubers are finally even now. Swati's very aggressive with that sniper, gets taken down by Paulson after some spam. So that's a 1-player disadvantage that possibly could even trigger the push, and yes it does. They're pushing out a far right lobby right now. Ubers are even, keep that in mind for this fight. Pingu takes down 4, so that just does help just a little bit. The heavy is up from Miko Lash. Fane goes down to MG. So they're just pushing onto this point now. Neither team's used their Uber. Xenophobia says that, as I say that though, Damage Inc. and Xenophobia both popping their Ubers, standing on this point, seeing who's going to get the presence post Uber, and it looks like Damage Incorporated is going to push them straight off the point. Paulson goes down, not getting enough done. It's just Pause left.
Yeah, we saw that. That was a really nice push. I really liked that push initially from Xenophobia, taking the right side and getting all that space for free, getting up to the top and taking a lot of room before they had to finally exchange Ubers, but just the post-Uber killing of things was not quite there, as we see Pause smash faces with Fane, do the Roma thing in IT, so that's going to be a pick advantage in favour of Xenophobia. As we see another fight going down in IT, we've got 3 players have rotated there from Xenophobia as Mac is coming in through choke, getting really aggressive, find Pingu and Crud, so at only trading paws out for those frags. So this is definitely going to be a second cap for Xenophobia. We see Paulson poking through door 2, trying to get a little bit of a cheeky damage off, see what he can find, but it's not going to eventuate to anything. But they're pushing in through lobby, dry pushing this before the Ubers are up. Really aggressive play. The heavy is up on the field from Michaelash, and they are still getting the frags. Halfrong has gone down. Gramps will be up in his Uber very shortly if he can keep his players alive, which I don't know if he will be able to. He's going to get chased down here. He's got players in lobby. He does go down to the sticks of Crud. Crud with a big 2k there, probably saving that last push before the Uber comes in.
I think they just underestimated the respawns there. They pushed in very aggressively. They got a lot of damage out, but Damage Inc. got 3 players up when they had no Uber, so I think that had a very massive effect on that last push. You know, it's just Mac up here in IT, probably going to try to go for a bomb, but he gets denied by these 2 players. Gets nothing done. So it's just Xenophobia falling back a little bit from this choke. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens on the side of Damage Inc. as they push closer to this choke and looking like they want to come through. Damage Inc. has about a 15% advantage that could play into things just a little bit. Just the one player sitting in IT looks like he's willing to push out.
Yeah, we got the 2-player bait coming in IT, but it gets found out, and Swati is going to die. And we see Paulson taking really aggressive positioning up on the bats. He's on last right now, so he's going to be looking to get something done, while Uber's Halfrong has his, Gramps doesn't, but Gramps is going to get his in time. No one's really in position to do anything about it, as we see a lot of frags go down very suddenly. 2 players down on the side of Damage Incorporated as their Uber gets forced at door 1. Really nice force there from MG the Scout, and Gramps milking his away, and they're going to find the Roma of Damage Inc., but the 2 combo classes left alive are just about going to get out. As I say that, Muppet is chasing them very aggressively. He's very low, going to get caught, but it's triggering the aggression from the rest of his team. But the heavy is up there, spamming out door 1, and the pocket goes down, so yeah, that'll probably just cause for a stalemate. Uber's even again, but we see again really aggressive
the scouts. Paulson's
positioning from the scouts. And just dry pushing that in, catching Damage Incorporated totally off guard. Really nice work by the Scouts. One Scout pressuring back the combo where the other one got on the cap and bringing the rest of the team in to just had all the position on that last, managing to force Damage Inc. back to win that one. You want to take us to mid, George?
Yeah, here we go. So Muppet is already in choke, and we have a massive amount of soldier aggression from Fane straight onto Muppet, takes him down. Easy peasy is what they would say. So just some aggression coming in from Damage Inc. The result of that, Pause goes down, but Swati gets taken down as well. It just ramps and his Scout together right now. Damage Inc. they're still contesting this. Both teams are contesting this really. It's a 3v4 now as Pingu comes in through sewer, but Xenophobia not looking like they want to take it whatsoever. And they've just gotten out into choke. That was a relatively quick mid there. But I'm not sure if they want to push straight in like they have in previous rounds.
Yeah, neither med died that mid, which is new. I think we've seen a lot of med deaths on that mid, but really ballsy from Xenophobia to stay in after their demo died that early. They eventually do not get punished for it as they just back out to second now. And we're just going to see a stalemate, even though Swati's on sniper yet again. He's walked a long way in, he's going to get taken down. He went for the hero shot, didn't quite make it stick. As MG trades for that, so Uber's a traded to choke, so even players here, a lot better Uber coming out from Pingu, a lot more flashing as they do take down Pause. Paulson's on mid though, drawing a few players back. He's going to get taken down, so I can see them putting, this is bad for Xenophobia. Muppet in sewers, Gramps on very low health, and so this should trigger the Soli aggression, chasing out Gramps, and Muppet's managing to back up from his really aggressive positioning, and they managed to trade frags out, so that could have gone a lot worse for Xenophobia. But
it was a very nice rocket from Mac there to take that second point too. Now the Ubers are going to be even again, so see how this last push goes. Remember, we've seen plenty of failed last pushes here, even with even Ubers and massive Uber advantages, and everything else in between. So This could be interesting, or it could not.
See Paulson up on the sniper, and he domes Pingu, gets the pocket there, so that's a good frag. That'll probably stalemate it out. They're going very turtly with this defense. They're not really set to move, even though Paulson did get that pick. So we're just going to see some aggressive positioning coming out from Paulson. Ubers are forced in IT though, so I'm not quite sure how that happened. But we see one scout in on last, and a Solly jumping all the way up behind for Damage Incorporated. But Mac may go down here, and he does, but Gramps gets the return frag on the Swati. Pingu's going to go down to Paulson, and we see Damage Inc. possibly overstaying their welcome in this lobby area. Nice rocket from Fane to take down an aggressive Paulson, but we should see them backing up to second now. Paul's still on the heavy though, so they're not in any great hurry, and Michael Ash manages to take down the demo, so that's really big. We see them coming through door 1 now, just Crud and Halfwrong. Crud's definitely feeling himself with this one. They're just not going to get a great deal of position. Crud's incredibly low. He's going to get caught here and go down, possibly just staying in there a little bit too long. But we see it again. 2 players in from Damage Incorporated just throwing themselves in as the spawners from Sean and Paulson come in. Halfwrong was committed. They tried to do the same thing that Xenophobia had done to them, and with players down on both sides, just dry push and catch them out. It had nearly worked, but they got the spawners just in time, and we see an Uber Force on second from Gramps trying to clean up the 2 players in lobby, as we see a timeout from Swati.
Well, we're just coming towards the end of this first map here, so I doubt we have too much of an impact unless Damage Inc. can manage to pull out a massive push into this last point, even after they bled so many players. Around a minute left. I haven't got a direct map timer, but just looking at the stream, I know there's a delay, but it's about 1 minute. So they are. Xenophobia is just going to push into mid anyway. Probably not going to be able to make it all the way back to last, but just a little bit of a fight going on here. So I think we can probably confirm that was the first map here.
Yeah, absolutely right. This is just dead time here. Players, Fane on Spy, just dead time things. Good maps being called in chat. So that was the first map of Xenophobiaphobia versus Damage Incorporated. Xenophobia take it 3-1 as we see Reckoner going to be the next map. Any thoughts after that, George?
Just saying, I think you read the map score wrong. I believe that says 5-0 to Xenophobiaphobia.
Nah, I'm not having any of that. I think your prediction was more wrong than mine, so points to me. I take home the spoils. But yeah, we should be getting logs up soon, hopefully, to have a look at that one, as Reckoner is going to be our next map. What are your thoughts on Reckoner, George?
Well, I've only casted it once, and I've never played it before, but so many walls, so many chokes, it really just does come down to how much spam there is, because, Process, there's really only a few big chokes as opposed to Reckoner. There's just so many places where the enemy can come from, so it's up to the teams to just decide where they want to shoot and spam and watch, and how many players they want to allocate where. And yeah, so we do have logs here. Just looking at logs, just a quick overview. We do have a lot of damage coming out from both teams' pockets. 11,000 from Pingu and 10,000 from Mac, so doing a lot of work there.
We see Crud, the demo man for Damage Incorporated, also picking up almost dead on 10k damage, 10,009 damage from him. So 2 very big damaging players there on the side of Damage Incorporated. It wasn't quite enough to take them over the line though. Yeah,
so 30 kills from Paulson is just a massive amount of kills over the rest of his team. So compared to MG was beneath him on 23. But he did stay up there with Pingu, who was a pocket who got 11,000 damage, as I said earlier, but Paulson with that 30k, and then Pingu on 31. It shows some very good performances from both those players.
Not really a lot separating these teams in terms of stats. We see Swati possibly having a more underwhelming damage, but he spent a lot of time on sniper, so I'm just going to attribute it to that. He's not got as much opportunity to put out damage when he's just hard scoping through chokes. And yeah, pretty mediocre air shot stats, I have to say as well. These teams have really got to lift their game coming into Reckoner.
So just look at the medic stats really quickly. 12,000 heals from Gramps and 10,000 on half roll. It's not really that big a stat, but 14 Ubers from him and 11 from half roll. He did have the Crits Krieg out at one point, must have been told to change. Just one drop from both meds too, so both meds
only one death
performing around the same
separating
with each other.
Yeah, not wrong, but we're going to everyone's favourite map, Reckoner, next. Reckoner looks cool. I've got nothing else to say about it, but this will be a little bit of a wild card that I feel, because this is a map that teams don't really enjoy scrimming. It's newer in the rotation, and we saw Damage Incorporated, especially for the first half of Process, really stick with Xenophobia, so this could be where we see the great equalizer. Not the weapon, of course, but like the scores that equalize, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how even both these teams are going. May not be able to be noticed in the map scores, but just from the logs that we saw earlier, both teams just doing just about as well as each other. Even the mids. I mean, I need to talk to you about that, Yauch. What do you think about Gramps' mid performance?
Contrary to popular belief, I don't even main mid, so
whatever. You're a premium.
Easiest way to the high divisions. I think some European said that at some point, but yeah, 4 assists only. Gramps, come on, man. You got to get that KAD. That's what really matters. That's where the style points lie. But yeah, pretty solid heal spread on both teams. Both scouts only getting 7% heals, which is contrary to the meta of TF2, if you will, at the moment, of really pocketing your scouts a little bit, especially when you've got one who hits as many shots as Paulson. But that said, I know how Paulson tends to go very aggressive, so I'm sure that's not a deliberate decision on Gramps' side.
I think that about sums up that first map there, so coming to the second one, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my...
One last log I want to point out, I'm not sure if we still have them up on stream or not, but Fane, the Roma, with a whopping 3% heals over the course of that map. That is a very, very low number. So that is an interesting one. Only 300 heals the entire map. Yeah, definitely not taking it away from his combo classes, so he's not going to be yelled at about that, but...
Definitely something could attribute it to that first map loss.
Definitely, and his very high death stat, most deaths in the server, which we expect from Aroma, but you got to think, maybe the heal rotation, whilst during the stalemates, which there were plenty of, wasn't quite there, which could have caused some leaks in the flank.
I'm just quite excited for the second one. I really want to see if it's as even as it was. Hopefully my second prediction will come right, where it's 5-0 on this map as well. I doubt it, but I want it to happen.
So you are going the same prediction?
Same prediction, 5-0. Xenophobiaphobia isn't going to let them get past the midpoint. As it was on the first map. I don't know what you guys just watched, but I saw a 5-0. Flat out 5-0.
You were watching something different to the rest of us, I think, you'll find. And I'm going to vote with great malice here. I'm going to say 2-1 Xenophobia after 45 minutes of Golden Cap, because I want to see them suffer like I did.
It's a very slow game you're predicting there.
Yeah, it'll test us as casters. That's the way to think of it. It is a challenge that we will rise to.
So, as you can see, just looking through the map, I'm not sure if we're seeing it right now, but
speaking of testing us as casters, this is going to be an interesting one with the call-outs of the areas on the map. You say you have very little experience on this map. I've played it a little bit, but every team I've played this with seems to have different call-outs for different areas. So bear with us while we stumble around that one, but I think you guys will get the gist of it. And yeah, I'm expecting, maybe not to the extent that I've said in my prediction, but this will probably be a slow map, and we tend to see in higher levels of TF2, second doesn't come into play a great deal. It's often won or lost on the mid-fight, this map, and then last is probably more secure than Fort Knox. You put up an NG and you're going to be there for days trying to push it, frankly. So we're going to see what strats these guys have to bust out to crack each other's last defenses. As we have 11 in the server, I'm looking forward to some.
I wonder if
interesting
the map is actually going to change the quality of the last pushes, because in that last one there was quite a few failed ones, so maybe this map will change that. Maybe one team's just practiced it that little bit more, that it's made them a lot better at executing certain pushes. Besides that, as I said before, there's just so many places to watch, so many places to spam. It's just going to be up to who can allocate the right places, right players to the right places, and put enough spam to make sure they're watching their areas and not getting picked. In saying that, although it's not a very long map, I think Sniper could actually be quite effective here due to the amount of chokes, everything else like that. A lot of high ground though, so Soldier's definitely going to have a definite say in the matter for this map.
This map is going to be decided by the NG play, I feel. We're going to spend a lot of time camped out on last here, as we tend to do on Reckoner. This is my prediction, so I want to see some expert rescue rangering from the designated engineers on both teams. I want to see them hit the fattest rescue rangers on the stationary aims for you gun that you can possibly imagine. I want to see some frag movie worthy things here. Some NG frags that Slam would be proud of, except maybe without seeing through the walls. He can already aim for himself, so doesn't need much more help. As my co-caster's having a little bit of trouble there. We've got 12 in the server, guys. Should be going live pretty soon. Let's get some predictions in chat, and also some Oh My Dog, because Paulson and Hawk wanted me to say something at some point during the cast. So, yeah.
Can I get a woof in chat?
Certainly not.
No one's doing it. I guarantee it, no one will do it. Oh, man, that Slam joke really got me.
Good old Slam.
Anyway, if only he were here to help out this team. Or both teams, really. But, you know, make mistakes. Take the consequences for them.
Well, they didn't really. They still made finals. But no, I'm not going to be salty about that. I'm not salty. I've come to terms with it.
It's just one of the many features of life.
Exactly, one of the many features that made the first season, where we had 3 divisions as opposed to 5, an interesting one. I don't know what exactly we're waiting on here. Both teams are fully in the server. I think we've got an AFK Zoic. They're just doddering around doing pre-game things. Another thing you'll notice if you're inexperienced with this map, like my good friend George here, is that the mid on the low ground is the point, which is, I mean, on a lot of maps you do see the point on the low ground, like Granary and Process, but this one means you can't start the cap early at all, as we do hear the countdown and we're going live now. Do you want to take us to mid, George?
Here we go. So, first round of this first map, CP Reckoner, Damage Incorporated versus xenophobiaphobia. Both demos look like they know their rollouts. I'm not sure if that was intentional from Muppet, but he's going to make it to mid either way. Crud's walking out at about the same time. They came through different chokes, but the spam's going to be exchanged very early on here. It looks like Xenophobia is mostly in one corner, but Swatty goes down to a nice rocket on top of the blue crate. But apart from that, not much else going on. Fane goes down to some full damage. Meanwhile, Pingu gets
big kill. Sorry to interrupt you there, but to molests, I can't say that on stream, he absolutely eats Mac alive, but we are going to see all the frags going in favour of Xenophobia. They do take down Half Wrong, trying to retreat. Crud's backing up into lobby, and that is going to be a very decisive mid-win, and they're going to be pushing on to last with a full Uberad, Xenophobia.
That was, I can't get over how nice of a pipe that was. He just put on his plumbing uniform just for a second and really laid down some pipe.
That was an Oxy level bad pun, man. I'm just going to put that out there. But we do see a little bit of a tentative forward hold coming out here. They have peeking a little bit forward, seeing what they can get done, seeing if they can get some cheeky damage, maybe even find a cheeky frag before the inevitable last push comes in from Xenophobia. Cap's gone down now, and we see them. They're outside. They're just gathering themselves. They know they got a big Uberad, taking it in from right lobby. From their perspective now, looking to walk through the center rather. Uber's popped onto Sean as Gramps goes down very low. They're going to find one kill on Swati there on the scout and the Solly of Fane. We've got the heavy up on one side from Michael Ash though, and the rest of Damage Incorporated just playing a very good blob. The cap time's going to get started, but the heavy's on the point now. So, and we just see really nice playing of the cap from Xenophobia. The players are still alive, only 2 left up. Not much Crud and Halfron can do when they have that bigger player disadvantage. Really nicely done playing the point there, baiting out frags from Xenophobia. 1-0.
Yeah, that was a really interesting last fight to see. They just fought on either side. They never really got up close in each other's faces. But anyway, coming to round 2 here after Xenophobia take that first one. Demo's doing the same rollouts, but they're coming out at different chokes than each other, which I find quite interesting. Anyway, rockets getting spammed everywhere, no significant damage going out, no massive bombs. Both soldiers trying to get some air, and Pause gets onto one of the soldiers, but just connects to one rocket before he jumps away. However, Muppet, Mac go down, Pingu goes down, so does Swatty, and so does Halfrong, so that's pretty much could even be a wipe here from the side of Xenophobiaphobia. They've caught these players out in a massive way. Crud's very low, and it's just Miko Lash. He takes down MG, but he wins it. So it's Gramps and his scout Paulson left here, but they're going to have a massive Uber advantage for the second push, if they even decide to use it into second. Fane's just jumping around, trying to find a good position to defend from. Pingu's peeking it, just making sure they're not pushing too early. While his team just walk out into the second, we do have the sniper from Swatty and a vaccinator from Halfrong. Maybe after that wipe from mid, he really wants to have a good defense that's able to do something. But anyway, I'm sure Swatty will have a say for this map as well as Process. They might even... Oh no, they're going to negate his crosshairs completely and walk out beneath him. Ooh, however, Pause tries to take an alternative route, goes down. Paulson's peeking it as well, but the Uber is used from Xenophobiaphobia straight into Muppet. He goes in, but the Uber dies and he goes down himself. Fane taken down by some forward air from Mac. MG gets taken down by Pingu, just getting a little bit up close and personal. Mac and Gramps running back out to mid now after that. Failed push.
We see the Vax push coming through Toxic here by the players of Damage Incorporated. Explosive Vax popped. Really big air shot there onto the Solly. He's finally finished off by Michael Ash. Really nice rocket there from, I'm going to assume that was Pingu, as he's the foremost Solly. Frag's being cleaned up. MG wins a nice 1v1 with Michael Ash, and Paulson gets Fane. So it's just the scouts up. Both scouts on full health against the Solly, Demo, and Med of Damage Incorporated. Getting aggressive. Crud takes down MG, though. Nicely done. But what the hell? Paulson on the back cap, we're being told by the ever-observant Wiethoofd.
And that was really out of nowhere. Even I didn't spot that one, and I'm flying around the map like a speed demon. That was very surprising. But anyway, that is the second round.
As we're going to see a third mid here. We'll see if we see the Solly aggression again. But Pause getting caught out. He's up against the entire Damage Incorporated team, taken down very low but not killed. Paulson getting really aggressive. Fane is actually the first kill though, despite all the really 40 aggression from Xenophobia, and Swatty's going to go down as well. Pingu getting floated in the air by Mac, but is going to find that kill as Damage Incorporated decided they don't want to have anything left to do with this, and they are backing out lower with their Med, Demo, and Scout meeting up with the Solly that went out through Toxic, and we are probably going to see a stalemate between mid and second. That said, Uber is forced from Halfrong, possibly a bit of a preemptive pop. The pop is much better for Gramps, and so we're going to probably be seeing them try to roll this into second. Xenophobia, Swatty on Sniper, but I don't know if it's going to have a lot of impact, but they get spammed out by nice spam from the combo classes of Crud and Pingu, not quite able to get the entrance that they would have liked, and MG's going to go down, trade for Pingu, so we're probably just going to see a bit of a calming of the farms, maybe. That said, there's frags going down everywhere. Really nice headshot onto the Scout from Swatty, as both teams are 2 down. The combo from Xenophobia is still very aggressive in this cargo area, eventually getting spammed out by some really nice stickies from Crud, just being a really consistent wall of damage and telling them, no, you've got no business being in here, and we're just going to see Uber advantage for Grams of about 20%, but I doubt he knows he has that one. So we're just going to see a bit of a mid to second stalemate, I imagine.
Swatty actually got 2 headshots. Wasn't able to pick up a kill with the second one, but it really contributed with chucking them out of that little area there. Paulson's actually come in, sneaks past Fane, who wasn't looking at the time. He's trying to get some damage out. Xenophobia using the Uber. Gramps has popped. MG goes down. Crud and Halfrong taking him down easy. Swatty, nice shot onto Mac. Gramps is having to run out into mid. He's got 2 players still in. Paulson's all the way at last. He's gonna try to do something sneaky. He's got Paws with them now, so maybe a good bomb could come in, but the combo
Paws on the half wrong is gonna get the nice follow-up rocket. Sorry to cut you off there, but Swati just hitting a body shot after body shot. That looks like, with the 2 players behind coming in to coordinate nicely on the half wrong, that it was gonna trigger something nice from Xenophobia, but Swati just hitting those 50 damage no-skill shots and killing all of Xenophobia. We're going to see a few forward spawns come in here. Not all of them, though, for Xenophobia. Half-Ronk spawning at the same time as Gramps, though, so we're going to see the even Ubers, and Swati still on Sniper.
Yeah, I'm really liking the work that's been put out from that Sniper. Really just looking at these chokes and spamming them through. Paulson's actually all the way underneath mid right now. They have no idea. Oh, wait, he might have been spotted by a scout there. He's wrapped around, just running around. He's got Paws with him now as the rest of Xenophobia is pushing in now. Just jumping around. They've dealt a lot of damage. Fang goes down. He takes down Paws with him, though. Miko Lash goes down to MG. Half-Wrong's bounced all the way across the point. Gets taken down by Max Shotgun. Crud going in for a bomb, but he gets bounced up way too high from damage from Xenophobia, so they're going to be able to retake mid. And that was an interesting little fight there.
That was. I thought it was going to.
Swati on Sniper too.
We do. He's watching the cargo area now. He hasn't got any heals or demo support with him now, as we see Fane taking up a position on the rock, so he's got an angle to bomb both sides. As he's going to jump in now and get denied pretty hard, just go for the pack under. I thought that mid-fight was going to open up when Pingu managed to trade for the demo man, but it didn't, as the frags were all found on the side of Xenophobia, just with some really nice aggression and some really good space created by Paulson. Really low players here on the side of Damage Incorporated, but Swati has managed to dome Max, so that's going to probably stifle any aggression. Half-Wrong, despite both meds, there is a no Uber advantage. They are going to push in with this. Paws going very deep with that Uber, but he's probably not going to manage to find anything. Maybe going to be able to find a straggling scout. No, Crud actually goes down, possibly a bit too forward in that lobby there, without a great deal of support. As the demo
over here on second, he's just retaking it with Pingu. Now they're going to be able to get back into the behind of Xenophobiaphobia. Just the 2 players left on the last point. MG's taken a lot of damage, but he doesn't actually go down, surprisingly enough. Just Half-Wrong left alone. They had such a good flank onto Xenophobiaphobia, but they don't actually get anything done with it. Maybe they didn't have enough players with them there to utilise that very effectively, but... So they're pushing into last now. Swati goes down almost instantly. The Heavy's up on Fane. He's trying to deal some damage. Xenophobia haven't got presence on the point yet, but they've pretty much secured it. Nico Lash try to jump, the bomb comes in from Pingu. Will it be enough? Just some spam coming in from Crud. He's doing a good job, but he's just not enough alone to keep the players off the point. And Xenophobia winning 3-0.
Oh, this is looking closer to your prediction for last map. Good idea in theory by Pingu and Half-Wrong to Uber out on the second, but they just didn't realise that the majority of Xenophobia were behind them in lobby, and they just got put in the meat grinder, taken to Pound Town, and all the frags went in favour of Xeno. As we see another mid now, Crud taking some aggressive position on mid, does get spammed down, but crossbow back up again. And Fane and Crud both going down very early, only trading for Paws the Roma, so that's the trade they will take any day. MG going down as well, the aggressive scout, pocket down as well, and we see Michael Ash and Half-Wrong tucking tail and running as Gramps. I think he managed to get a couple of saws in there because he is on Uber. Swati is behind in the enemy Toxic. He's hiding behind crates, but I believe he has been seen by Sean, so he's just going to be a very late death here. Not much he really could have done when he was caught behind.
Swati goes down as well. That's just not going to make it look very good here for Damage Inc. because now they've been forced back into their own second. Xenophobia has used the Ruber, and actually Damage Inc. are able to milk it a little bit, and Xenophobia already deciding to get out. Maybe they realised they didn't get that Uber popped off early enough, and it was just so much better from Damage Inc.
Looks like Mac,
again, just another stalemate.
Mac had, I could see his eyes going wide there. He looked like he had the opportunity for the fattest pocket solo, but ended up being a little bit too preemptive. The pop came in pretty early, as we're going to see Swati die on the flank, so maybe that'll initiate some aggression from the side of Xenophobiaphobia. We see MG running in, but he did manage to munch a pipe and then get taken down by Pingu as he aggressed onto Crud the Demo Man. But
it's both the scouts from Xenophobia going down to aggression from themselves.
Yep, and Paulson's in behind on the combo. If he gets something done here, goodness gracious me. And we see the follow-up from Pause, actually. Halfrong is going to die, but they've traded 3 frags for it as... I hope this is Pause. Is this Pause?
Yep, this is a Pause that we are seeing right now. So, just to run over it, Xenophobia are down 3 players. Meanwhile, Damage Inc. down just their mid. And Pingu's only on 10 health, and Crowder's on 93, so... It's a pretty interesting push we're going to see coming out next. Halfrong needs to get to his teamer, but I doubt they'll be able to hold this second. Oh, actually... With the 3 players, it looking like Xenophobia is going to be pushing in as soon as this is unpaused. They've dealt the damage, but they don't have the same amount of players. So I feel like they can use a health advantage.
I reckon that this can go one of 2 ways right here. I reckon the way it is going to go is that Damage Inc. are going to be holding down tab, looking at their scoreboard, saying, yep, we've got player advantage, we are good to go here, we're good to chill, but not without realizing, because you can see from their positioning on second, they can only really see Mac. They might not realize just how close the players of Xenophobia are. I can see Mac Ubering in here and managing to clean up a lot. As we do see the unpause, he's coming in here. He manages to shotgun down the demo of Crud as Michael Ash is in lobby, getting onto Sean. As we see the flank coming in as well, grabs down, Sean down. Really nice flank by Fane to really open that up. I didn't see where he came in from. Toxic, I'm pretty sure. So really nice coordinated aggression to just mince them. As Gramps was on very close to Uber there. So clutch plays from Damage Incorporated.
Apologies for any ice skating plays you may see. That is just a side effect of pausing. But anyway, Damage Inc. is going to be taking this midpoint. Whether or not Xenophobia want to make a push happen, he's definitely... still up to the decision. I need to reload my HUD to see the current Ubers, but I'm assuming that they won't be pushing in anytime soon.
There's 20% advantage on Halfrong, because I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way and click around because I'm a chump, but so I don't imagine we're going to see anything too exciting. That's not a big Uber advantage, especially when you consider the size of the choke points you need to cross to get in and really get into the meat of the opposition team on this map. So we're probably going to be seeing a mid to second stalemate here, but every time I've said that on this map they're actually choosing to stalemate out less than on process. What is this madness, George?
Very, very strange indeed. I think it's mostly influenced by the stranger map in and of itself. Wow, okay, Swatty's just running straight to the mid. That's a pretty good distraction, distracting both the scouts there, but didn't actually get anything done with it. The Ubers are even as well, so possibly some kind of push coming in soon. Swatty goes down, but it's not enough to initiate the push from Xenophobiaphobia. Paulson's in all the way at mid. He might get caught out. No, he gets out. Soldier wasn't quick enough to assist his scout with that kill, so it's not everything is wrong with that one there. He is very hurt, but he gets the crossbow, so once again back to a stalemate, mid to second, as we've seen about 4 or 5 times so far already.
For those of you who don't have the benefit of reading in-game chat on the stream, I'll just let you know that that pause came in because MG's hot sister needed to be let into the house, quote unquote. So that's been paused. That's been cleared up now. No internet issues. That's good to know. As we're going to see a few players from Damage Inc. rotating around to Toxic, not managing to get much done. That's a very tight angle there. They're not going to have much luck trying to find a frag there. As we do actually see Paulson is just going to barrel down Fane, get that kill, so that's possibly going to cue some aggression from, yes, early pop from Xenophobia in Toxic, but a really nice jump through by, I'm going to say, Mac to get the counterforce off in a prompt manner. Pause is above on the crate here. He's going to manage to get Halfrong. They just didn't see him. They were just holding their position, merry as you like, and didn't look up. Amateur mistake. Fane's the only one in. He's lower. He's been seen. He's getting chased down. Hits a nice upward direct to stifle the aggression from MG, but he's probably going to be caught out here as he jumps away and gets away into lobby.
Max all the way at second already, so that's definitely going to secure a little bit of a foothold, but the rest of his team is coming. That's definitely it for second. Meanwhile, Swatty, not sniper, but spy this time, going for the low route. I think this could be very effective due to how many chokes there are, how many places he could hide all over the map. So even if they are aware of him, there's just so many places he could escape to. So I really want to see what he gets done with this. As Xenophobia do have a massive Uber disadvantage, but he's going to need to get that pick to pigger the to trigger the push from his team. He's just slowly making his way around second right now as Xenophobia is just trying to build from that around 30% disadvantage that they have. Wow, the
crits coming out. Pingu finds Sean immediately, but we see Paulson running into lower lobby. I doubt they're going to find any more frags with this crits. And Swati's still on Spy, but yet Paulson running straight in from lower and is going to get the back cap 4-0.
Wow.
Nice idea. Glorious, going for glory with those players. The crits push out of last with the Spy. I'm not quite sure if that was ever going to work as well as they wanted it to. And we see Paulson just running through a totally unprotected lower, through an unprotected lobby and getting on to last.
Very easy from him. I'm sad that the Spy didn't actually come to fruition there. It just ended a little bit too quickly, but we have pretty much most of the teams, of both teams, on either side of the on their side of the map, so not too much aggression apart from Swati. However, as I say that, Paws jumps in, he gets blown away, gets taken down, easy peasy. Swati tried to get aggressive on that right side. Now Xenophobia are aggressing on their left. Got two players there watching, and the combo separated. Gramps is being bounced in. That just completely destroyed him. Absolutely isolated. Paulson goes down. So that's a 100% advantage for Damage Inc. And it's only Muppet that survives that mid-fight. So essentially you could say that was a wipe. I mean, you know, they took down the mid. Now they have a massive advantage for this last point. It's really, the demo didn't actually get anything done with surviving. So yeah, that's gonna set the foundations for this last push, and the Uber's already been used from Damage Inc. The sniper isn't going to have much effect on that Uber. They haven't taken down the sentry. Yes, they have. So quick taking down that sentry. A headshot comes out from Paulson, but he doesn't take down anyone with it. They've got the presence on the point. Paulson and both scouts actually running for the point, but nice fight from Crud, taking them down one at a time. So that is just another round over, and this time actually going the way of Damage Inc. It's 4-1. Still
response round there
in the lead.
Yeah, with 12 minutes to go, we're going to our 6th mid of the match. Poor rescue rangering from MG. I just want to point that out. His NG game is not good. Slime would not be proud. As we're going to see them try and trade sides again. No, they're going to be meeting on the blue side, but the looks of things. Payne in really aggressively with the help of Michael Ash manages to take down the demo, but the counter aggression, all the high ground here in favour of Xenophobia, but some really nice shots being hit to nullify that height advantage. Crud really forward here. He surely is going to get taken down, probably just a bit overextended there without the help of his team. So we're going to see this continued aggression from Damage Incorporated, just having that mid control and height control on mid rather, and manage to scare Xenophobia out. Both mids living, crucially.
Well, the Ubers are even, so yet another situation where it's a stalemate with both Ubers even. Happens a lot, not only in TF2, not only in this game, but in TF2 competitive as a whole. So, common theme. Swati gets that easy force. Didn't actually do too much damage to Gramps, but scares him enough to the point where he uses it. The Uber comes out from half wrong as well. Meanwhile, Miko Lash runs straight at the demo. MG isn't close enough with him to actually do anything about it, so he goes down. Fane's just peeking into second, seeing where they all are. All of Xenophobia is in that top right position right now. They're not watching any other choke. MG's got aggressive. Paulson's now taking his position with that aggression, running straight at the combo. Gets piped by Crud. The scout pipes have been pretty effective as of late. It's just the 5 players up here at this mid right now. So,
but Gramps gets juggled in cargo. That's really bad news for Xenophobia, as he's going to get caught and he's going to get killed. He just got a really unlucky juggle there and was caught in a really unfortunate position. All the aggression coming onto half wrong now. He's on a slither of HP and he's going to eventually get taken down by Mac. But they're trading their entire team for this. Just Paulson left alive and now spawning Graham. So we're going to hopefully be seeing, Damage Incorporated pushing straight on to last. Lots of directs. Paulson doubled is going to create a really nice rockets from the soldiers of Damage Incorporated there. And they're going to cap that out. 4-2. The comeback is real.
We're about to see a full comeback. Will they make it to 4? I really hope they don't. But anyway, I'm still seeing a 4-0 right now on my screen. So, you know, Xenophobia definitely going to win.
Not
much chance.
Crud taking the lower route this mid has changed his rollout up from previous mids. He's going to get a lot of denial on the pause with help of his scouts. Taking the blue side, Crud just lobbing damage over the point, and Fane and Pingu are going to go down, trading frags all over the place. 2 players down, 3 players down now for Xenophobia, as they did get the initial frags, but they had absolutely no point position, and now Sean is just going to get out, being chased by a low health Swati, but is going to jump away with his medic, so really nice positioning won the mid for Damage Incorporated there, even though they didn't have the frags. They're posturing for a second hold here, but Swati has just come straight in up under. Gramps is so low, 11 HP, but does not manage to get taken down. Swati just not quite managing to finish the job, which is very unfortunate. That said, he's probably going to come up on Sniper anyway.
Oh, you'd hope so. It's always fun when they come up on a Sniper. The best players in this game, I think, just the 3k sniper headshot and other things like that. But anyway, Xenophobia is just holding the second. It's not too much aggression from Damage Inc. Ubers are even, so neither team having much of a reason to push. But anyways, just as I said, not a lot going on. Both teams just waiting for some reason to use that Uber and get in onto the point, but not much coming out. Pingu's just sitting alone in that yard area. He's probably got to rely on his team. But anyway, both Ubers are being used right now as Damage Inc. are pushing into this mid. Quite even Uber fight right now, but looks like Xenophobia is getting pushed out, and yes they are, so Damage Inc.
They do lose half wrong though, so the players are coming out from Xenophobia to try and recontest. Pause with a nice rocket onto Michael Ash, but is going to get taken down in turn by Fane. Just Fane left alive, as we see a few players flooding to last to try and get something done for Damage Incorporated, but... Oh, Fane's there now, but he's not quite going to make it. He's going to kill himself with his own rocket as he manages to take down the demo. But this will probably be a second recap, as they have a lot of position on second for Xenophobia. Spawns are up, so they are looking to contest a little bit. Mac goes down. Gramps is caught here. He may die. Manages to link up with a scout and get the heal speed boost. They're still aggressing into lobby though. The cap hasn't gone back in favour of Damage Incorporated, but they just keep aggressing and keep finding these frags in the lobby. That said, Michael Ash does go down to Pause. Pause going to die here though. Gets caught out lower. So, really good lobby position. They still haven't capped second though. They're looking to get into last, but they actually do manage to get the force out of Gramps with half wrong on 80% Uber right now. So that was a really nice play, using that lobby position that they bought themselves to a great effect to manage to buy themselves an Uber advantage. So really nicely played by Damage Incorporated. As we see aggression coming out onto second here.
Half wrong, still has his Uber, and he just uses his, I point that out. Gramps on about 20%, so he's going to have a little bit of an advantage. They pushed all the way up into lobby right now. Miko Lash going down. Meanwhile, Muppet gets taken down, and Cruz, so both demos down for both teams. Half Run goes down to 2 scouts. He's just too isolated. It's only Pingu left in this lobby area. Goes down. Was a wipe. Fane came up just as Pingu goes down. So they're just going to recapture second now, and maybe Damage Inc. are going to be able to get a foothold on the second, on mid. But I don't think they will if Xenophobia are fast enough. No, they're just opting to pull all the way
especially
back.
with their med just spawning now, so 80% advantage for Gramps, or 70% advantage when Gramps finally starts healing again. But this is going to be a free mid, and they're probably going to look to do something on second Damage Incorporated. Otherwise, they're going to be facing a hefty Uber disadvantage for last. And we do have Swati on Sniper, as we've seen a lot tonight. The Ubers actually come in from lower. Body denial there from... Mac getting denied as he tried to jump in. Swati's going to go down on the Sniper, but I'm sure they won't mind that in exchange for getting a 60% Uber advantage. Bit of a preemptive pop there, not managing to find any frags with that Uber, really, and Paulson goes down to equalise the players, so this is definitely going to be looking like a Damage Incorporated push-out, as we see Half Wrong is actually going to go down to MG. Really nice aggression there, as Crud isn't just able to pipe him down in time, so equalising the Uber situation as Paulson spawns, so it's only 2 players up for Xenophobia, so there is going to be player advantage. They're looking to get a little bit forward here, our Damage Incorporated, but Ubers will crucially be even. As Crud goes down, Demo and Scout go down in Toxic, probably getting a bit too aggressive there, and that could end up costing them second, with Swati going down as well. Just players bleeding in here, so disconnected. Their combo's so far away on second, and just, especially questionable from the demo to go in that aggressively without a great deal of support and die, because that's going to cost his team a lot of territory. Sven does take down Paulson, and Mac goes down.
Just a lot of player bleeding from both teams, especially in this lobby area. The Ubers are even though, so I'm sure it won't have too much of an effect. Xenophobiaphobia only 2 players down, but Damage Inc. are just going to take this this second easy peasy with that player disadvantage. They're using the Uber straight back into them actually. They don't have all the players there. Oh, as I say that though, they do actually finally make it to second, so wow, okay, that was very quick. 4 players going down on the side of Xenophobia, and only 2 now. Both soldiers going down for Damage Inc. And it's total wipe, going in the favour of Damage Inc. So they're going to take mid. That was a pretty easy denial of a push right there, and it actually triggered a push straight out of second, so probably not the best decision there.
Really good denial of the aggression from the scouts and the demo. Crud hitting a lot of nice damage in the backlines that had absolutely no impact on the fight, but Pingu hit a very nice air shot, so I'll just give him kudos to that. As we're going to see them try and push out from this grass area on the second. Demo down, Pause down as well, MG down, only trading for 1 scout at the moment. A lot of aggression. Pingu tapes down Gramps, and is, just Mac left alive. Full wipe on second. Really nice aggression there, getting right up in the faces of an unexpected Xenophobia combo, and we're going to see 4-3. They really are bringing this back. 3 minutes left to go, 2 minutes 50 now, and they could equalise this with another quick round. We saw them do it just before.
Which makes me quite excited because we know that this round's going to be a blitz play from both sides, just trying to secure their win. With only exactly 2 minutes 33 left in the map, so. Both demos there. Crud's got some very good stickies, denying 2 players from entering mid there, but however, Mac has got an aggressive on Red Crate. He's going in for a bomb. Players getting aggressive from Damage Inc. and it's just not paying off too much for them. 4 players up for it's 4v3, 4 players up for Xenophobiaphobia. Ubers are still even, now 2 for Damage Inc. They're gonna desperately try to get onto the second point here. Probably going to go all the way back to last. However, Paulson's chasing, as is Mac.
Paulson on the hunt like a basset hound. There's your dog pun, Hawk. He does chase into lobby, and him with the help of Mac manages to take down Crud, who was delaying on second to make sure his medic got out, but Halfrong managed to meet with both of his solis in the top lobby area, so Paulson didn't manage to get his man. As we're going to see contest coming out, nice denial air shot onto Pingu, and Halfrong is forced to hop to save his pocket there. Pause is going under, so that could bode badly for Damage Incorporated in the post-fight, but Gramps has been caught in trying to get out from under, and Frag's definitely in the way. Pause comes in from under and combines with MG to get Halfrong, so med situation equalised. Frag's going both ways at the moment. 3 up, 3 up for Xenophobia, 2 up for Damage Incorporated, and as I say that, Swati winning a 1v1 with the Scout as Sniper, which shouldn't happen. Paulson, you're bad. But we're going to try and be seeing Michael Ash delay this. This is going to be a second cap just by virtue of the timing of the spawns for Damage Incorporated. And with 50 seconds to go, I think that means curtains for Damage Incorporated. They put in a valiant effort, really made a good contest of it in the second half of this map. But I imagine that Xenophobiaphobia are going to be quite content just chilling here on second, not doing a lot. As we see the Vaccinator come out, this is...
It's evidence of the rush that they're in right now. They really need to just blitz through second and mid, but just crossed the 30-second point. I really think that is over. Just dead time playing through now. Just the demo and Crud here sitting on second. So, just as we're finishing off quickly, Crud and Halfrong finally going down. Xenophobiaphobia looking like they even want to cap this last point. Just roll a little bit of salt in the wound.
We all know it was a 4-3 really, despite what this might say. 5-3, round is closed out by Xenophobia, but realistically 4-3 as the map time ends. And that is GG's with Xenophobiaphobia taking both maps, 5-3 on Reckoner and 3-1 on Process.
So we are going to get some players in for the interview. I'm going yes, as we look at the logs, which should be up on screen right now. So just a quick overview of it. both the pockets doing a lot of damage, as is typical what you'd expect. Besides that, nothing really too outstanding. Both players, again, it's actually quite even in terms of everything, really. Both sides, just maybe not the same amount of kills that they needed. Paulson and MG actually doing very well at helping their team win there. So, with that amount of kills as compared to the top players on the other team, Damage Incorporated, obviously shows a superior team there, just alone through the stats. Unlike how we saw in the last map, Xenophobiaphobia won, but the log showed a very even set of teams, so that's quite interesting. So,
Sorry, I'm just trying to organise unwieldy Prem players for casts. You know how these kids are. But, yeah, I'm looking at the stats again, and we see the same trend as we saw last map. We see Pingu and Crud. I think you mentioned it very briefly. Both of them, again, on the losing team, but both getting above 10k damage, while Fane, again, not having much of an impact, dying a lot, not getting many kills at all. Again, Roma roll, say about it what you will, but he's not looking like, from the numbers anyway, like he's having much of an impact on that game.
Looking at the medic stats quickly. 12,000 heals to Gramps and 10,000 to Half Wrong. 13 Ubers from Gramps and 11 from Half Wrong and 9 Vaccinator Ubers. Thought that was quite funny seeing that the quick plays that were allowed by the use of the Vaccinator. So we do have the amazing Gramps, the medic for Xenophobiaphobia.
And I'll get some players from Damage Incorporated if you'll give me a few moments. Hey Gramps, how you going?
Yeah, we're good, thanks. Hello.
How you feeling after that match? You happy?
I don't know, is laggy an answer?
Oh, you were lagging, were you?
I had an average of, I'd say, about 140 ping.
Oh, okay. Well, you actually played very well for someone with 140 ping. Just looking at the logs, I'm not sure if you're looking at them as well, but we do have them up on stream right now. You had 13 Ubers and you didn't actually change your minigun at all, whereas Half Wrong, he used the Vaccinator. He got about 9 Ubers with the Vaccinator, although they're not as significant as a normal minigun Uber. It's still something. Did you consider changing to the Vaccinator at any point?
I've experimented with Vaccinator in the past. My team doesn't really benefit for it as much. Like, it's not something that our team dynamic really has adjusted to well. And I don't generally switch off Uber that much with my team, as it's another thing that we usually feel that we do better with just stock Uber, and Kritzkrieg kind of feels redundant all of the time. So we've only really used it in the past if nothing else works, kind of like a last resort. But yeah, we're a very more Uber dependent team, so we really don't switch that meta that often. There were a couple of opportunities there where I was planning to, but we ended up not going with it anyway.
So predictions were made at the start. I'm not going to mention Yauch's because I feel like he might want to talk about those himself, but mine was 5-0 going the way of Xenophobia. What was your expectation coming into this match? Do you expect an even one? Do you expect a roll? Or what are you
this
thinking?
Is a team that we face quite often, actually. In terms of scrims, we've had weeklies with them in the past, and they've come like miles from where they began, and semi-recently they've been doing a lot better, and a couple times they've almost even rolled us. But I think we were pretty confident coming into this, and they put up a really good game. And I don't know, for my estimations, I would have probably said about a slow game, about 4-0, maybe a couple runs for them, but they really showed me up and blew away my expectations. They played really well in Reckoner, and they played really cleverly on Process.
Alright, Gramps, I got a question for you, and I think it's safe to say this is the question on all of Oceania, if not the world's lips. Are you a better medic than me? Answer carefully.
I don't know. If we go by terms of who got killed by shields more, I guess I'm ahead, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm ahead in terms of getting killed by shields, so I'm winning that.
No.
Were you guys getting a little bit antsy when they were finishing very strong on Reckoner? Were you guys ever doubting yourselves? Because they came at you with a couple of quick rounds and a couple of strong rounds. Did you ever feel like, uh-oh, we're in trouble? Or were you guys straightening up and flying right?
We were very... Our team's a really relaxed kind of environment. We never really get that anxious about losses. We did realize that because we got our wins pretty quickly, and then when they started coming back, we're like, okay, this is possible that they could very easily come back from this. So we kind of pulled ourselves together and started playing more conservatively and tried to do a lot more as a team. I'd say that was the closest we got to antsy or anything. We really are more relaxed and just kind of okay, this is what we should do now, rather than panicking when things aren't going our way.
Very concise. And quickly, before we wrap interviews up, I know it hasn't been the most in-depth interview ever, but what are your guys' predictions for the season? We mentioned it quickly before the game that it's pretty much a 3-horse race for the last playoff spot. How are you guys feeling about that?
I feel... I don't know, it's an interesting situation with 16 Prem. I feel as if... I don't know, it's really hard to say. I feel like the Hardys are almost definitely going to come first. And, I don't know, I'd like to place our team, if we are at our peak when we play them, I feel like we could do decently against the Pencil Jumpers. But, I don't know, I'm fairly confident that we can place 4th, but, I don't know, I think the rest of the positions are up in the air as of that.
Very fair answer, very diplomatic, I feel. So we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon, I think, unless you had anything more you wanted to add, George.
I was going to say, how do you feel about going straight from Open to Prem? Do you think you're performing at the level that you need to be?
Like me?
Yeah.
I didn't go from Open to Prem.
What? I went told that you were.
I went from Intermediate to Prem.
Krat, you fed me lies. George, you awful,
fed
awful
me
man.
lies. You fed me lies. You told
I
me
didn't
that.
feed you lies. No such thing. But on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be wrapping it up really quickly. Grant, do you have any quick shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to Greenish, Pingu, Sharp Aim, and Venny. And my dad. My dad, an avid Oz Fortress community member.
What a legend. He sounds like a cool guy. George, any shout-outs you want to give, friend?
I want to give shout-outs to Tommy9219, the Jive100, and Uga290 for being avid supporters in the chat early on. And another one, shout-out to Wiethoofd and Wiethoofd for the awesome overlay and the great production that we had from Wiethoofd tonight. Good job, guys.
Yeah, we'll get some chats in heart for our fantastic production man, Wiethoofd. I'm going to quickly shout out Leo, Mason, Chris, Lilac, Luke, and Ben from Nelson. And this has been Oz Fortress Premier Division, season something or other, Damage Incorporated versus xenophobiaphobia. We see xenophobiaphobia taking both maps, but it was against a very fast finishing Damage Incorporated team. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed it, and good night, everyone.
See you later, guys.